Yo, how's it going, Yankees fans? I am now on the line with Pete Seminetti of NYYNEWS.com. How's it going, Pete?
Doing wonderful. Wonderful as always.
Anyways, we are now witnessing the fourth place Yankees. What do you think about that, Pete?
It's more the same. It's a long story to a degree, but just to sum it up a little bit, it's more of what we've been seeing recently. This team has forgot what they were doing well during the 13-game winning streak, stealing bases, moving runners over, heads-up baseball. You're back to a lot of the sloppy play on the infield, Glaber, Gio. You're back to not the timely hitting. They hit a lot today, but, then again, you had some of the relievers, again, give it away. Chad Green has been really bad recently. Andrew Heaney comes in the bases-loaded job, does better than what I expected, gives up only one run. But the pen has really let them down often recently. And again, like I said, it's more the same. And they're in a tough spot right now. They're at the moment right now, they're not in the playoffs.
Let's say the Yankees missed the playoffs. Is that on Brian Cashman?
It's on Cashman. It's on Cashman, definitely. I mean, he obviously has to take a lot of that onto himself. It's also on Aaron Boone and the entire coaching staff. I mean, let's be honest here. I think we could count with our fingers, but actually probably got to go to your toes too, to be honest, how many games Aaron Boone's decisions have blown for this team that everybody looks at the screen. And look, I know that managers make a decision 50-50. It works or it doesn't work. But we've seen it a lot of times where everybody in the crowd, everybody at home knows it's the wrong decision, and Boone still goes to it, and it bites them on the ass. And we've seen that a lot. So I think if the Yankees ever did not make the postseason, I believe, in my opinion, you can't see Aaron Boone come back. It wouldn't shock me if he did. My personal opinion is he doesn't come back. I think Cashman does work out the last year of his deal. But it puts them in a tough position because you also don't want to have Cashman hire a manager that may precede him further out down the line. So it's some tough decisions that will have to be made by Steinbrenner.
Why do they keep using Heaney? Is it because for an example, if he pitches well, that minimizes the disastrous trade for him, and it makes Brian Cashman look a little better?
Well, it's odd because Brian Cashman is the type of guy, and actually had a lot of comments on this during a live chat the other day. Brian Cashman is the kind of guy that you don't necessarily know if he will give up on a player because he wants to be proven right. He wants to be proven that player was the right move to make. And Andrew Heaney falls right in line with that, right? They got him somewhat in a new role now. He was potentially going to start today. Clark Schmidt gets a start. He comes in right after him basically and gives it the one run. So, kudos to him today. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. I really do. I think part of it is that they want to be sure that they feel that this was the right move to make when they traded for him, and that he's going to be somewhat effective for this club. But the thing that bothers me the most, and I think bothers Yankee fans the most, is that not that he's not pitching. He's pitching in very important games when the game is on the line or very, very close to being a tight game. He pitches in those moments where everybody else just feels like maybe this guy should be doing mop-up work, but that's not what the case has been so far. And yeah, I mean, he could be one of the main reasons this team doesn't get into the wild card.
It's one of those situations where they're overutilizing him because he's a Cashman guy, and they want like a good sample size. And if he does look good, at least he looks good, but it doesn't look as bad on Cashman. But what do you think about Giancarlo Stanton giving his best CC Sabathia impression tonight?
I loved it. I mean, that's a lot more of what this team needs. I even said it. I mean, I definitely respect G. I respect him for, speaking up on the field, one, and then also afterwards just explaining, hey, here's what happened. A lot of guys might take the high road, might not even the high road, might just take the regular, I don't want to talk about it, or we left that on the field. He explained himself. He explained, this is why I did it. Guys chirping, rounding the bases at the whole dugout, not just the pitcher. He's doing it to everybody. So at the end of the day, I mean, I was basically, like he said, I was just telling them that, if you're going to do that, do it to Wandy. Don't do it to all of us. We didn't, what do we do? What's the problem there? And like you say, no fists were thrown. Nobody was hurt physically or anything. It is what it is. And, at the end of the day, Lindor got the job done for his club, and it is what it is. And Stanton came up. He kind of puts it on himself, but he had a good game himself. Been a good player for them most of this year. Him and Judge has almost been the offense this year. So, you don't really knock him at all like that. But I do like to see him. I do like the comments. This team needs more of that. There's not enough fire on this club at all, and he provided some of that today.
And hey, I said this in my latest video. I said if the Yankees have a chance at a wild card spot, they need players like Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, and heck, even Aroldis Chapman to be the alpha males, to act like they look like. And Giancarlo Stanton really showed that tonight.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, that's even why I want to see Luke Voigt in the lineup. I mean, that to me is one of the oddest things in the world. I understand the National League. I get that. Completely understand him being a pinch hitter there, maybe starting a game against a lefty or something. But, we get back now to the American League, to Baltimore. You need to see Luke Voigt back in the lineup because he's one of those guys, too, where, he's also like Stanton in the sense of he'll tell you how it is. He's not going to sugarcoat nothing. If the team sucks, he'll say it. If he sucks, he'll say it. If he got something to say, he'll let the media know. And he plays with a bit of fire himself, and he was very hot, if you remember. He was very, very hot against Oakland, and then all of a sudden I think they played Oakland. He sits in 2 games, and then it's kind of like you never see him no more. And it's just there's a lot of question marks, man. There's been question marks all year long on this ball club, and unfortunately, now they're in a position where they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be fighting for a wild card spot. They should be guaranteed to be in. And now it's like, it's a nail biter every single game just because you're concerned of the offense doing well. You're concerned who the hell's pitching. You're concerned what pitcher Boone's going to go to. And then you're concerned about the late inning guys even being able to do the job. So it's a very, very tough spot for the Yankees.
But guess what? The Blue Jays are in a better position because the Blue Jays went out there a season ago and obtained starting pitchers like Robbie Ray. This season, they obtained Berrios. Those are moves that the Yankees needed to make.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Berrios, they gave up a lot for him. The Yankees could have done it, no doubt about it. I don't know what those conversations were like, but
yeah, what I'm saying is those types of arms that the Yankees needed to trade for.
100%. You're spot on. I mean, if you guys know that watch our channels, we NYYNEWS has talked about it for a while. I've talked about it for the last couple of years that Robbie Ray was a target for the Yankees. They were close to getting him and Archie Bradley 2 years ago, and it didn't happen. But Robbie Ray is now, whatever the Blue Jays have done, they've harnessed Robbie Ray to limit the walks, and that's all he ever needed. The good thing is the Yankees have money, and Robbie Ray is going to be a free agent. So the Blue Jays are going to have to consider, do they bring back a Marcus Semien and Robbie Ray? Do they throw all the money at those guys? Or maybe they throw the money at one of those guys? I don't think Robbie Ray is going to cost a, $200, $150 million deal. I don't think it's going to be anything too insane because you could just say this is the best year he's ever had and he's kind of playing off of this season. So I think there'll be teams that may overpay for his services, but I think the Yankees got to certainly be a team of interest for him. And also taking him away from a team like the Blue Jays is something that's going to make sense because the Blue Jays are going to keep getting better. They got a lot of young guys. They got more guys coming up in the system. So they're going to be a thorn in the Yankees' side. But the Yankees have an offseason coming up where this offseason for us is going to be exciting because we'll have so much to talk about. They got a lot of good young shortstops coming up. They got a lot of good pitchers coming up about where they're going to delegate that money and who do they trade? Who do they move? Who do they feel goes forward with this team? I don't know if Cashman is the right guy, but I think he will be the guy that's going to be dealing with this. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
So speaking upon that, I'm going to have a question for you. But before I ask that question, as you brought up, it's going to be a great offseason. And I want to remind people that are listening right now, if you aren't subscribed to this channel or Pete's channel, subscribe now, as we are a channel that does not upload game clips. And I'm not trying to bash anybody that does, but that's the easy route. We're taking the hard route here, bringing everybody quality content. I want to remind people that this is going to be the spot. Pete's channel as well, NYYNEWS.com in general. So if you have friends and family, tell them about NYYNEWS.com. So Pete, before you go, I have this last question. If the Yankees miss the playoffs or is looking like that, does Aaron Boone get fired before the season ends?
No. The Yankees aren't going to fire him. I know I tweeted that out today, and I would. I'm just basing my decision off of knowing this club and seeing what they've done all year. They won't fire him with the last, 19
But
games
does he deserve
left.
to be fired if the Yankees somehow miss the playoffs?
100. He deserves to be fired months ago. I mean, no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, they'll have to re-sign him if they bring him back, which I think would be. I mean, can you imagine the headlines? Oh no, who would? I mean, can you even imagine the headlines if your $200 or so million payroll doesn't make the playoffs at all, not even get eliminated in the wild card game, and you bring back the manager? I mean, it would be
horrible.
It would be a super sign of weakness that this organization doesn't know what they're doing. And I mean, I hope that's not the case. I'm a big supporter of a guy like Buck Showalter. I really am. I'm a big supporter of a guy like Buck Showalter because, I'm sure you heard it. We talked, and I mention this all the time.
Yeah, compare Tony La Russa and the White Sox.
Correct, yes.
That's what the Yankees need.
Exactly. It makes a lot of sense because look, guys will struggle. Gleyber Torres may go on to be an all-star. That may happen. Guys may struggle. And it happens in baseball where a guy may have a great, then he has a couple of bad days, and he reestablishes himself. That's understandable. That's fine. The problem is these guys do not have the manager who tells them, okay, that's not happening again. Take a seat. And sits them down and gives them the discipline they need to understand if that energy is not utilized on the field, you're not going to play baseball. Aaron Boone does not have no discipline whatsoever. You could tell the guys don't respect him. Whatever they might want to say, you could tell by the play on the field. The lack of urgency falls on the players a little bit, but it falls on the messaging of the manager. He rubs off on them. His mood and personality rubs off on the club. And we saw Gary Sanchez the other night make arguably the worst play of all time in Major League history for a catcher. He didn't even get a talking to. He didn't even pull him over and say, what the hell are you thinking? Nothing at all. I know Pops messaged me. My dad messaged me once it happened and goes, what are these guys thinking? I mean, this is so obvious that you would have to talk to a catcher. I said in the media, you got to take him out the game. I mean, whether you got, go for the risk of catching, having no backup, you can't let shit like that happen all year long and have no consequence for it. And he's done that all year. So he has to take a lot of the blame.
So I've never been like a big Boone basher, but it has grown on me because this guy's a complete moron. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but as the years progressed, this guy's a complete idiot. So what I think the Yankees clubhouse, or they probably already did this, they need to overthrow him. They need to overthrow him like a coup.
A coup, yeah.
They need to take control.
A coup against him.
They need to 100% take control because Aaron Boone is not the guy. And Aaron Boone is managing like he wants to get fired. Do the players realize this?
At the end of the day, who the hell knows? Maybe that's why the team is playing so bad. They want him gone. they're revolting. They're revolting against him. But I don't think Boone is back next year. I think it's rather obvious at this point of that he was not the right choice. Definitely not the right choice to run this team, and that's where it is right now. But anyway, guys, NYY News is where it's at. We got a lot of big things coming for you guys. And like Felix said, everything here is created by our mind. We're doing real creativity of Yankee information, Yankee news, Yankee shows, entertainment, all around it for the Yankee fan, and that is it. So, guys, keep checking us out.
Exactly. There goes Pete Seminary. Nice having you on. Pete Seminary. Nice having you on. Pete Seminary.